For years, families across California went to bed afraid. Doors were double locked, windows checked again and again, lights left on through the night, because somewhere out there was a man who entered homes, controlled entire households, and vanished before police could ever catch him. And then decades later, he was found living quietly in suburbia. A neighbour, a retiree, a man who'd simply continued living. His name? Joseph James DeAngelo. Welcome back to Clothing Crimes. Tonight we look at how terror spread across a state and how time finally closed in on the man responsible. In the mid 1970s, a series of nighttime attacks began in California. The offender stalked neighborhoods beforehand, he learned routines, and he selected homes carefully. Victims described walking to a stranger in the room, already in control, issuing threats, moving with rehearsed confidence. He bound people, he stole items, he invaded the most private space a person has, their sense of safety in their own bed. The impact on communities was immediate and profound. As months turned into years, the crimes evolved. They spread geographically, and the fear grew heavier. Police realized they were not dealing with impulsive acts. This was someone disciplined, someone who prepared, someone who felt comfortable operating in the dark. He became known by several names depending on the region, but later investigators would link them as the work of one offender. Part of what terrified authorities was how he manipulated situations. He often took steps to control victims psychologically, creating the impression he was everywhere and nowhere at once. He made people feel watched long before he struck. Communities organised meetings, neighbourhood patrols formed, sketches circulated, yet he kept succeeding. Eventually, the violence deepened. Killings were connected to the series. The stakes shifted from survival to finality. Now, the man they were hunting was not only a prowler, not only a thief of safety, he was a murderer, and still he remained unidentified. It was an era before national databases worked smoothly. Different counties kept different files, communication was slower, and patterns took time to prove, and the offender seemed to understand those gaps. Then, in the mid 1980s, the attacks stopped, as suddenly as they had begun. For victims, stopping did not mean ending. People moved homes, changed habits just so they could carry the trauma forward. Police, well, for them, the case became unfinished business. Evidence was stored, DNA was preserved. The belief remained that one day science might catch up. While the legend grew, the man himself blended into normal life. He worked ordinary jobs and lived in regular neighborhoods. He interacted with people who never suspected the history walking past them. Whatever he had done seemed buried in time. Decades later, advances in genetic genealogy opened a door. Investigators compared crime scene DNA with public ancestry databases, not to find him directly, but to find relatives. From there, they built family trees. They narrowed possibilities, and eventually, one name remained: Joseph James DeAngelo, a former police officer. Surveillance teams collected discarded DNA from items he had thrown away. Tests confirmed the match. After more than 40 years, the unknown attacker finally had an identity. In April 2018, officers moved in. He was taken into custody outside his home. No dramatic escape, no confrontation, just an old man facing a past that had finally arrived. In 2020, DeAngelo admitted responsibility for numerous crimes, including multiple murders. For survivors and families, it did not erase pain, but it ended uncertainty. The ghost in the hallway had become a person in a courtroom. History, at last, had a face. What unsettled many was not only what he had done, it was how long he had lived beside everyone after it, attending barbecues, talking to neighbours, and just growing old. The ordinariness felt incompatible with the scale of the harm, yet it was real. The Golden State Killer reminds us that some offenders are not caught because they vanish. They are caught because the future refuses to stop looking, and eventually, even decades of quiet can be interrupted. This has been Closing Crimes, because time does not always forgive. Sometimes it waits.